Hey everybody, today I will show you how to self-assess whether you're a narcissist or not. And on this process, so I will tell you how to find out whether you're a narcissist or not. And on this process, we will find out that the victims of narcissistic abuse have a lot of similarities with narcissists, but there is ways to tell them apart. But I have to make a small introduction before we get into the thick of it. Not with S, sick, yes, on the narcissist side, but I mean with TH, into the thick of it. So, if you know me in real life, you don't need this video to find out whether I'm a narcissist or not, because you can simply decide whether you want to be my friend or not, whether you like my energy or not. As simple as that. If you don't know me in real life, you can also give 0 FK about this video, because you will not benefit or suffer from my mental condition. So what is the purpose of the video? Again, the only purpose of this video is for you to self-assess whether you're a narcissist or not, following my logic. All right, so now we get into it. To understand what a narcissist is and to check whether you're a narcissist, you need to understand the difference between fantasy and reality. And you need to understand positive emotions and negative emotions. And you need to understand high competitiveness, okay? So, let me begin this way. If you are a person, whenever it gets difficult for you, you are faced with problems, you take on a victimhood mentality, you say you're the victim and there is external reasons why things happen to you, you point to other people, then this could be narcissistic, but this could also be a real victim of narcissistic abuse. So here we have the first similarity. A victim of narcissistic abuse will point to other people and say, they have done this to me. And the narcissist will also do the same. But where's the difference? The difference is a person that is not a narcissist will reject the victimhood role and try to overcome it. But it's also possible that victims of CPTSD or victims of narcissistic abuse gain CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, to a degree that locks them in the victimhood mentality, and they can't overcome it without external help and long time. It means this is a strong similarity to narcissists, victimhood mentality. The next thing is consciousness. We have found out that the covert narcissist, represented by the underground man of Fyodor Dostoevsky, suffers from hyperconsciousness, is only conscious, this person, and ruminating between grandiosity and self-trashing, self-mortifying, self-hate speech, which is basically covert narcissism. In other words, just because you're conscious does not mean you're a narcissist or not a narcissist. So we have another similarity here where we can't make a clear distinction between narcissist and not narcissist. What you need to look for is, if you wake up in the morning with positive emotions, with access to positive emotions, and you're not naturally competitive with others, you're not a narcissist then, okay? But if you wake up and you immediately have negative emotions, a grudge, hate, whether on yourself or on others, so you're ruminating in your consciousness, you have both grandiose fantasies as well as revenge fantasies. So you say, I'm grandiose, In the first place, I'm grandiose. I'm in the hierarchy, superior to everybody else, but I have to revenge and exert dominance over certain people because, for some reason, this is narcissistic, but this can also be happening to victims of narcissistic abuse. Because remember, narcissistic abuse, also psychopathic abuse, happens through manipulation of the environment. So a power dynamic or a disbalance in power is being created inside a shared fantasy space by manipulating the environment. I take a small break. And if exactly that happened to you as a victim, you might wake up in the morning and you might feel like it would make sense to destroy the shared fantasy of the people who try to manipulate your environment, and you might get vengeful and hateful and have negative emotions. So this is also hard to distinguish and explains warum. It's German, a German Freudian slip. Freud was German, so I can slip. And warum, it means why. Okay, anyway, so it means that this, you need to understand, the narcissist is full of grudge. It's a consciousness filled with grudge, whether it is perceived conscious or unconscious, is toxic, shame, hate, whatever. And as a victim, you might experience the same. So this is another problem, but if your trauma responses lead out of the trauma, so you process this, you take responsibility for what happened, so you say, I have part in this, I reject the victim role, I see that I made mistakes that enabled these persons, and I hold these persons accountable for what they did, and so on. This shows that you're not a narcissist. All right. And furthermore, there is also one paradox, and that is, let's say you prove that you're not a narcissist by detaching yourself from all dependencies. In other words, there is a person that you reject because you're not a dependent, you're not externally regulating, you don't need a partnership to be regulated. You then cut all your possible dependencies to all substances, means you live a completely clear lifestyle, clean lifestyle, where you self-regulate just by a healthy lifestyle. You might even go to the degree to go fastening, doing spiritual practices like sexual containment to simplify your mind and your body and harness the energy for healing, personal transformation, etc. This is a good indicator that you're not a narcissist as well, because narcissists are externally regulating. They need substances, other people, sexual validation, etc. Depending on what narcissist they are, could be they need intellectual validation. Externally, they are externally regulating, but you're internally regulating if you can prove that you're not that. But here's the point. Yeah, under these circumstances, you should get back to the access to the positive emotions naturally and be able to process the grudge, the shame, the dysfunction, the impotence that has been projected onto you by the narcissist. Just this distincts you from the narcissist. The narcissist can't do this, okay? They can only project, deflect, hide, and compensate, externally regulate, okay? Last but not least, reality. If you're, the feeling of grandiosity is healthy and beautiful, okay? I like to flex in front of a camera. I like to show myself, okay? This is a posture of strength, is showing your vulnerable parts in powerful ways, okay? But I'm not highly competitive about this, okay? So narcissists are always in a hierarchical thinking. It's me or you, it's an eye for an eye. I can't show my omnipotence if you're around, so I have to project my feeling of impotence on you. You have to leave, and then I will avoid you and stonewall you, because now I can live inside my shared fantasy space and live my dream. Okay, this is the deflection, that what the narcissist does. But the feeling of grandiosity can be healthy. It means it is that what a child needs to explore the world. It is what you need to get up in the morning with positive emotions and get out of your bed, do your workout, go running, flex in front of the camera. That's grandiose. But it's not narcissistic necessarily, okay? Because it can be rooted in reality and is not competitive and excluding others. You don't say, oh, I can't do this if this person is around, or I have to show that I'm more dominant or better than this person, but I can't do it if the person is around. So this is all bullshit. You just live your life, mind your business. You respect everybody else who does it. You respect people who are working out as well, who are doing the same thing. You push your brothers, you give them a hand, you help your brothers up the ladder. Okay, that's not narcissistic. So, your grandiosity is rooted in reality. Okay. But if your grandiosity is rooted in falsehood, you need to blame others, you need to exclude others, you need a protected shared fantasy space where other people who are inside a cult-like dynamic have to validate you. That's narcissistic, okay? So feel free to self-assess yourself. I'm giving you just a random further information. If you're ruminating, if you're full of grudge, you can't process this grudge. You can't reject the victimhood role or the role of a savior, or trying to get a moral high ground, or generalize everything or rationalize everything. This is all red flags. You need to be able to be independent of all structures and substances and external validation and have access to positive emotions. You should be allowed to have positive fantasies. Fantasy is not bad. Grandiosity is not bad. It's all healthy. But in narcissism, it gets all twisted and toxic and highly competitive in a hierarchy, me or you, and must be validated by by an in-group. This is all the toxic cult-like dynamics. Feel free to self-assess yourself. That's just the reason why I do the things I do, and I know that I'm not a narcissist for me, myself. I don't have to prove it to you, all right? If you know me in real life, check out whether you like my energy or not. I'm fine with if you don't like me. I'm fine if you like me. And if you don't know me, doesn't matter, right? Then you can use this video to self-assess yourself. Feel free to subscribe and follow me on YouTube, because I'm sharing a lot of material about this topic. That being said, stay safe. I want to clarify some more things about this video. I think I did not express myself clearly enough. What does it mean to be rooted in reality with your grandiosity? It means that your grandiosity is not built on fantasy, right? What does it mean? It means that you are functioning, that you are working, that you are going through pain, struggle, problems, challenges, all by yourself, without the need of weaponization of other people, without weaponization of narration, without victimhood, without leveraging your own victimhood or your own sense of grandiosity, without force. So, in other words, you do what you say and you say what you do on a consistent basis with no contradiction. This means if you're grandiose in your expression and in your emotion, I would say grandiose, this form of grandiosity is simply positive emotion. It means you're happy with yourself. It means you're happy with the world. It means you're not competitive towards other people. It means you don't want to replace anyone and you don't want to be in the place of anyone. You might respect people, you might adore people, you might even have role models, but it doesn't mean that you want to switch places with them or even change with them. You're happy with yourself, you give respect where respect is due, and that's it, right? This means that your expression of power, grandiosity, potency, whatever you want, is rooted in reality. Because you're backing it up all alone, without substances, without external validation. You don't have to exhibition control over others or external validation in order to bolster yourself. You are, you know what I'm saying? Be right back. It's rather what you see is what you get. You know, that's all. But if your grandiosity is rooted in external validation, so you need to have your partner to exhibitionistically show how loving you are, you need to act. You need your, a narcissist would play parenting when external when there is an audience to look and witness it. But when the audience is gone, they switch off emotionally, all right? So you don't need to do all of this. This would be grandiosity rooted in falsehood, in trying to create an external expression. Or narcissists would parent children when the narcissist is in need of emotional attention, not the other way around. So they reverse parenting as well. While an emotionally available, individuated parent will be there for the children, but the children do not have to be there for the parent. All right? You understand this now. And you understand that this does not mean that I'm a narcissist. Okay? What do you think? What do you think? Understand this? I don't know. You hear the birds? You hear the bees? You hear the trees? You hear the peace? Narcissists hate peace. They need external chaos.